Is not financial advice. Consult a financial advisor should you need one. Hey guys. Wow, right? Wow. Crypto.XL. Alright guys, jumping in. So as predicted, we're in a roll, okay? So hopefully it stays that way, right? But Bitcoin is oscillating, right? We're still oscillating in this range. And what has happened during this oscillation is that a lot of money, or some funds, a small percentage of funds, have been diverted into the AI coins, into the AI cryptos. And we are up so much right now that even when we have a pullback, the pullback won't affect us as much as new people who will be getting in today, right? We're up like, multiples of hundreds of percentages, right? So if we have a 30% pullback, it doesn't matter. If you're up 4x, if you're up 400% and you have a 30% pullback, you're not really worried or scared or anything, you'll actually be looking at it as a buying opportunity. And remember I mentioned, let's talk about the portfolio, right? Let's go to the portfolio. Patreons are up like, my God, man. All right, remember Codex? This did a 700% gain in a week when I was mentioning Codex, CDX, right? Open Fabric AI, 126%. HX is doing well. AI Tech, 86%. Dex Check, 63%. And the reason why I was so big on DexTrack, and I've been talking about DexTrack for months, and people have not been paying attention. They're starting to pay attention now, but to become an Oracle member with DexTrack, it takes 100,000 coins, and now that's over $8,000. If people were listening to me from months back, it wouldn't be that much. It wouldn't be that expensive. So we're going to get closer to a point where it's just not going to be accessible to most people, right? But what I will do, though, in the Patreon group is when I do spot launch pads that are new, that are at a discount, that are undervalued, that people are not paying attention to, that will be going to the Patreons first. That's who I'm going to look out for first, right? Because it's a way of saying thank you, right? So DexCheck is still undervalued, actually, at this price valuation. I know it sounds crazy. I know it does, but trust me, it's undervalued. It's going to be undervalued for a long time. But let me move on. ZK Swap, 60%. Octavia, let's talk about Octavia. And we could go on, right? It's Chat GPT. Chain GPT, I was saying during the dip, I'm going to be DCAing in, right? And we're going to get to a point where, again, I don't need to DCA anymore because I was getting in at lower price points. GTAI, you already know my feelings on that. But let me go back to Octavia, right? There's so many gems here, man. And Core AI is going to do phenomenally well. But let me get back to Octavia, VIA, because I did a video on this recently. And I put predictions in that video. Do understand that every time I make a prediction, I'm putting my reputation on the line. I've made so many predictions with Bitcoin, what Bitcoin's going to do, the price point of Bitcoin, where I think it's going to bounce. Every single time I make one of these predictions, it's dangerous, right? Because the internet doesn't have Alzheimer's. You could always go back and see what I've said. And if I ever call something wrong, that'll be, you know, the wrong time when I'll probably get trolled. So these are high risk calls that I'm making here, right? That's another reason why I always say, you know, I'm not Nostradamus. I'm just giving my interpretation based on the facts in front of me. It's actually a lot of calculations that I'm making. I'm using historical information and I'm projecting that forward into the future. And I'm also taking current data, like the current macroeconomical conditions, and overlaying that on historical data and coming up with what's the most likely scenario to play out, right? So while it's extremely scientific, it's also flawed because it's assuming all the variables are there in the picture, and all the variables are not in the picture because there are things that are going to happen in the future that we don't know about yet. And that's the human condition. We don't have the ability to see the future. We have the ability to imagine the future based on our current data, but if something new happens, I'm going to give you a good, for instance, a catalyst that could change everything. A catalyst that could change everything is the AI becoming sentient or operating on its own. The singularity. Having a singularity could change the entire paradigm of anything that we're trying to predict. But it seems like I'm going off on a tangent, right? I'm just. It sounds like rambling, but it's actually not. It's actually relevant. But let's get back to VAI. It still ties in because Octavia is tech, right? Artificial intelligence. So I've been raving about this project, and I said like this could easily 10x. For the members that were in the Patreon, if you look at the chat, the information I typed there, I told them that, hey, you know, I would wait for it. If I didn't get in on the IDO or pre-sale, I would wait for it to come back to about 0.45. This thing actually came right back to 0.45. So that's why I'm also thinking that maybe what's happening here is not just me. Maybe there's some other force that's just making this stuff happen, man. Because, I mean, it's insane. Who in the freaking world could be that accurate? And I don't think I would be that accurate. I was just like, if I was going to invest, I would wait for it. And this actually came back to that level. So imagine like getting 0.45, and then this thing went up to 86 cents. And now we're having a slight pullback. By the way, it's not done. If you're willing to wait, right, like DCA in and just wait and not worry about market fluctuations, that's why I always stress, you know, having cash on the side and only putting money that you're comfortable with losing and not looking at for a while. Because if you're comfortable, then you don't care about the ups and downs, and you'll be able to DCA in on solid projects that you have conviction in while they're coming down. Like, you won't stop DCAing in, right? And with small amounts, I mean, money you won't miss. It could be like $20, $50, you know, as it comes down. If it's money that you are going to miss, and like, let's say you have to deprive yourself from going out, from eating, from going to the movies, from buying something, or going to the game, then you're going to be thinking about it too much when it's going up and down, and you're going to make emotional decisions at the wrong time. You're going to pull your money out at the wrong time because you didn't expect it to go down, and so you pull it out, and little did you know that a little bit after that, you would have gotten your money back when it comes back up and goes way beyond what we expect, right? So make sure you manage your risk and you manage your emotions, right? And only use funds that are like your spare funds. Don't use your main funds. And this is not financial advice. But check this out, man. This has a bright future. So even DCing right here, I would probably wait for it to pull back a little bit. But even DCing right there and just DCing, I think, you know, this isn't easy from here. Within the next couple months, within 2024, it's an easy 20x, and I'm going to be conservative with that number. I'm very extremely conservative. So even DCAing in, you know, I wouldn't even I wouldn't worry about it. I would continue to accumulate if I haven't already. I think this is really going to be one of those projects that boom and go into the stratosphere. And engine starter. Yeah, this was one of the projects that kicked everything off for me. I've been investing in engine starter for quite a long time. I like the team. I like the projects. I like the ROI. They've been doing really, really well. They're coming out with one of my gems that I'm really looking forward to. It's called Other Games, and this is a card playing game. I've covered it on my channel before. They've recently gotten access to Wheels of Time, so they're going to be making a game based on that. And I think that once everything kicks off, once this project comes out, once they come out with the other game that they're working on and the marketing starts kicking in, they've raised a lot of funds, so now they have funds for marketing. Once that all happens, this is going to become a household name. I'm putting that out there now, the same way that I've put out Octavia, so you could pay attention and like kind of know the trends before they actually hit. And this is a game development studio. It's a card game, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people because people are not going to think that for video games that a card game is really a hot genre. Right now, it's first-person shooters, right? But when there's not that much competition in the genre you're in, and you're the best one in the genre that you're in, that's going to garner you attention, and it's going to garner you the most investment. So I think this is going to be a sleeper, and it's going to cause shock and awe later in the year. So that's just to put that out there. You know, keep an eye on it. I'm liking the development. I'm liking how the graphics look. I really like what they're doing, and I think people are going to be surprised. And this is my next one that I'm like, all right, let's see. Let's see where this goes. When they come out, they're going to have a market value of approximately 1.4 million, but this is a development studio, right? So I'm comparing them to like a Gala Games. So they can go into the billions long term. Hey, so are you guys ready for face melting games? That's my question, man. That's my question. Are you guys even ready? Do you know what's coming? We're not even at the halving. AI is already taking off. It's already exploding. So the AI bubble just started. And a lot of us think that, oh, we're up too high already, so the bubble's going to pop and we're going to come back down and crash. And then, no, my analysis is different. My analysis tells me that throughout 2024, ChatGPT, Sora, other AI projects that are new that we don't even know the name of yet because they haven't come out yet, they're going to completely floor us. We've seen the text to video AI, Sora, and what it's doing currently. That you could just type in a prompt and it'll make it a 1 minute video for you from 3 lines of text. So as we continue 2024, I think it's going to cause shock and awe with AI. Apple just came out with their Vision Pro, or I believe that's what they call it, their headset that has augmented reality, and everything that Apple does, it does it a way that Apple does it. It refines it. It makes it more palatable to the consumer, right? So their products just feel right. They fit like a glove. They're perfect. As we continue to get products like that, as we continue to get AI that is not only more intelligent, it seems more intuitive. That the possibility of having an AI assistant where you talk to it and it's like a person, but it's like a really smart person with a nice, pleasant personality. As we get closer and closer to that, and human beings start relying more on the AI and it becomes seamless, like it just becomes part of our daily routine, like how I might grab my cell phone, right? And it's just part of my routine. I don't even think about it, and then I'm checking things every now and then. As that continues to happen, you have no idea. You really have no idea what's about to happen. So if you're in the market right now, basically anything you buy is going to return really good gains, right? If we're talking about like end of 2024, middle of 2025, phenomenal gains, right? If you're in my Patreon, oh boy, you're in for a ride, right? And as far as like if I buy crypto and it's down 20%, right? I'm not worried at all, man. I've already made 10x. I've made multiple 10x's, and we can go through the list, right? So if I have one of them and it's down 20%, I'll take $50 and I'll just put a little bit in more. The reason why is because I know where we're going, okay? So the 20% down is a buying opportunity. I am completely not worried at all, man. I'm not. Without trying, I just showed you a coin that did 700% in one day without even trying. So if you're not part of the Patreon, I don't know why you're not part of the Patreon. As far as my perspective goes, the Patreon is free. It pays for itself. You can try to guess on your own, and if you don't mind spending, 4 hours a day, because that's what I'm spending like 4 hours a day researching projects and looking into things, trends, timing, and I look like if you were just able to get into one of those calls, that would have paid for the whole thing. But that all being said, let me also premise that with the fact that this is crypto and it is extremely high risk, and don't put in money that you depend on. Like let's say you have a car note or a student loan or something you have to pay this week. Do not, I'm going to continue to stress it, do not put that money into crypto. If something could go up 70%, there are other projects that rug pull to. I have to put that disclaimer out there, because as we proceed and we go deeper and deeper into the bull, people lose their minds and they lose their connection to reality. So remain level-headed, make smart decisions, smart, strategic, long-term decisions, not short-term decisions, long-term decisions. I watch the charts every day, but I'm more concerned with the charts on the monthly. How does Bitcoin look on the monthly? Where are we in the cycle in relation to where we were last cycle? Therefore, what's going to happen within the next 6 months? What's going to happen in a year from now, a year and a half, 2 years from now? That's more like how I'm thinking, because if you look at the daily candle, you don't know that yesterday something's going to pump. Like AGIX did a 33%. You can't dial it into the day and be like, on this day, on February 21st, AGIX is going to pump 33%. And if you try to plan it to the day, you'll probably lose money. No, that's not what we do. What we do is we spot undervalued projects that have extremely high fundamentals, and we invest in them at the earliest stage possible. And we sit there and we hold throughout the bull. And if you want to take a little profits when it seems frothy, you take a little bit, that's fine. But we're building our portfolio, right? And this is my strategy. This is my thesis. I'm into small cap, high risk projects. I'm into the 100x gems. That's what I'm looking for. 100x outsized returns. With the 100x's comes an extremely high amount of risk. Okay? That all being said, you're not going to make a 100x investing in real estate, right? You're not going to make it buying Apple stock. You're not going to make it buying Tesla. You're not, right? So what I'm doing over here is changing lifestyles completely. That's what I'm focused on. That all being said, I stress to you again, manage your risk. And I think that we are still going to have a phenomenal 2024. I think 2025 will melt faces, right? Throughout it all, we're going to keep our composure and we're going to stick to the plan, right? So make sure you check the link if you're not part of the Patreon. Hey, this is Crypto.XL, man. I will be seeing you later. And another thing too, if you got in earlier, but with new projects are coming anyway, alright? Take care. Crypto.XL.